Well, hi, this is Chris again. The date is June 28th, year of our Savior, 2016. Bible study number 62. Yes, Bible study number 62. And the title is Priestcraft Sheela Nagig. Priestcraft Sheela Nagig. Now, I know that might be a surprise, but I'm here to tell you, folks, truth is stranger than fiction. It really is. I mean, a lot of the stuff we've been taught, we've been lied to from the very beginning. So understand that you're like, well, why are you going into this? Because most likely your church system, your Western Christian church system, borrows from this, and you most likely you're going to be infected with a Roman virus, okay? Which is really a Babylonian virus, the Babylonian layout. I mean, all this stuff is not of Jesus Christ, okay? Obviously, these naked caricatures there's a reason why they're put on the cathedrals. But as a Christian, I wouldn't want to put these creepy-looking female figures, and they're putting their vulva out there exposed. That's not something I would want to put on a Christian building, okay? But there's a reason why they do that. So let me move forward with Sheela Nagig. Now, Sheela Nagig, quote, is a common stone carving found in Romanesque Christian churches scattered throughout Europe. These female figures are found in Ireland, Great Britain, France, Spain, Switzerland, Norway, Belgium, and in the Czech Republic. The majority of them are found in Ireland. And a great amount, and I think a second is Great Britain. Their meaning is not clearly identifiable, as I mentioned before. And they say, well, it's probably an ancient form of yoni worship or yoni worship. And you look up yoni in your English dictionary, and it literally in the brackets, it means vagina or womb, and that's referring to the genitalia of a woman. So it's important to understand that. And that's related to yoni worship, is related to sacred prostitution, and that goes back to Babylon. There's all sorts of evidence in Babylon of sacred prostitution. So we see this concept of sacred prostitution, and this yoni worship is a context of religious worship as a form of fertility, right, and divine marriage. The hieros gamos. Now, hieros gamos, now hieros, most likely hierarchy, and gamos, or hierogamy, it means holy marriage, refers to a sexual ritual that plays out a marriage between a god and a goddess, especially when enacted in a symbolic ritual where human participants represent the deities. Okay? Hierogamos. You can look that up in Wikipedia. Now, so we see here that this sacred prostitution, this yoni worship, was practiced in the goddess temples. Some of the figures seem to be elements of earlier structures, perhaps devoted to goddess worship. So when you're borrowing this, when Christianity is borrowing from this, they're borrowing from sacred prostitution. They're borrowing from these pagan temples, which a lot of sex went on, okay? Yoking yourself to that. Now, continuing to quote, we have other common motifs or repeated designs on Christian churches of the same time period are spirals and oribus. Now, a spiral is a curve which emanates from a central point, getting progressively farther away as it revolves around the point. Now, probably like revolving like a spiral. Like you might see in nature, maybe in like a snail or something like that. And then you have the oribus. Now, oribus would be like a serpent eating its tail, if I remember correctly, an ancient symbol depicting a serpent or dragon eating its own tail. Okay. Or a dragon swallowing their tails, which is a reference to rebirth and regeneration, a concept well known in pantheism. Now, what is pantheism? I'm glad you asked. It's a doctrine that equates God with the forces and laws of the universe. Then you have other creatures, including the succubus. I had no idea what a succubus was, but a succubus is a demon-assuming form to have sexual intercourse with men in their sleep. So you have other creatures, including the succubus, make an appearance in the sculptural reliefs of the church that have a long history in the oral traditions of previous civilizations that preceded Christianity that may relate to earlier goddess worship. May relate? Well, it's not Christian, folks. This is all paganism, but understand that that's what's on the cathedrals, okay? That's what's incorporating is a mixture of paganism and Christianity. And understand that the Romanesque and the Gothic, which was about 500 to 1500 AD, was a time dominated by Papal Rome or Roman Catholicism, known as the Dark Ages, okay? And Roman Catholicism clearly admits that they baptize or they borrow from paganism and just put a Christian wrapping paper on it. You gotta look these symbols up, folks. Sheela and Agag. Yes, I'm encouraging you to search and prove all things. Be a Berean. Now, Sheela and Agag at St. Mary and St. David's Church at Kilpeck, England, a 12th century Sheela and Agag on the church at Kilpeck, Herefordshire, England. That's the picture I have here. Now, Sheela and Agag. Sheela and Agags are figurative carvings of naked women displaying an exaggerated vulva. I've been reading it right out of encyclopedia. They are called architectural grotesques. What's an architectural grotesque? That is a piece of decorative art characterized by fanciful or fantastic human and animal forms, often interwoven with foliage or architectural ornamentation, or similar figures that may distort the natural into absurdity, ugliness, or caricature. Bizarre. Well, there definitely are bizarre. Now, there are architectural grotesques found on churches. They're found on churches, folks, castles, and other buildings, particularly in where? Ireland and Great Britain. And sometimes together with male figures. Well, they're together with male figures. What is that? That's a sexual union, okay? One of the best examples may be found in the Round Table at Ratto in County Kerry, Ireland. There is a replica of the Round Table, Sheela and Agag, in the County Museum in Tralee Town. Another well-known example may be seen at Kilpeck in Herefordshire, England. Ireland has the greatest number of surviving Sheela and Agag carvings. McMahon and Roberts cites 101 examples in Ireland and 45 examples in Britain. That's taken from McMahon, J. and Roberts, J. Sheela and Agags of Ireland and Britain, the Divine Hag of the Christian Celts, an illustrated guide. Mercier Press Ltd. 2000 ISBN number 978-1-85635-294-9. All right. And there is this woman on a corner of a building here where her legs are spread on a corner, kind of like you would have, what do you call the wood coming together, meeting together, edging or trim. Yeah, but it's this woman coming together representing the trim with the legs spread into the wall. Okay? Such carvings are said to what? Why are they on there? They're said to ward off evil, death and evil spirits. That's taken from Jorgen Anderson, The Witch on the Wall, 1977. And that's ISBN number 978-87-423-0182-1. And then you also have another one with images of lust. Yes, sexual carvings on medieval churches. Now, stayed in London. B.T. Batsford, Ltd., 1986. Other grotesques such as gargoyles, which are elongated, fantastic animals designed to convey water from a roof and away from the side of a building. And then you have hunky punks. Yeah, a hunky punk. Never mind. Hunky punks. Now, a hunky punk is what? Somerset in the western county of England, dialect for grotesque carvings on the side of buildings, especially late Gothic churches, were frequently part of church decorations all over Europe. They're all over Europe. They're universal because it was all under Roman Catholicism. It is commonly said that their purpose was to keep evil spirits away. see apotropaic magic. They often are positioned over doors and windows, presumably to protect these openings. So that's why I'm calling it priestcraft, because there's a lot of magical things going on, and the priests have the power. They have the power because they have the generative process, because they have gone through seminary. They have the seed of a man, the originator of germinative power. And that's taken from Wikipedia under Sheela and Really good information there. Now, what is apotropaic magic? All right, let's find out about that. That comes from the Greek apotropine, to ward off, from apo, away, and tropine, to turn, is a type of magic intended to turn away evil, a harm, or evil influences, as in deflecting misfortune or averting the evil eye. Apotropaic observances may also be practiced out of vague superstition or out of tradition, as in good luck charm, perhaps some token on a charm bracelet, amulets, or gestures such as crossed fingers or knocking on wood. The Greeks made offerings to the averting gods. That's under apotropeo, theo, or chthonic deities. Now, chthonic deities literally means subterranean, referring to deities or spirits of the underworld. I believe that's where Satan resides, especially in Greek religion, and heroes who grant safety and deflect evil. Now, there's a little subscript there, and there's all sorts of references here on books and things like that, Hippocrates. So with this knowledge about the heavenly bodies, precautions must be taken with a change of regimen and prayers to the gods. In the case of good signs, to the sun, to heavenly Zeus, to Zeus, protector of home, to Athena, to protectress of home, to Hermes, and to Apollo. In the case of adverse signs, to the averters of evil, the apotropeo, to earth, and to the heroes that all dangers may be averted, to Pausanias. Before the altar a barrow, as taken from 2.11.1 Corinth, before the altar a barrow has been raised for Epapias himself, and near the grave are gods, averters of evil, the apotropeo. Near them the Greeks perform such rites as they are wont to do in order to avert misfortunes, end quote. All right, so let's break that down. Where do you think all this stuff in the Middle Ages, dominated by Roman Catholicism, where did that come from? Well, it came from antiquity. It came from the Greco-Roman paganism. And it's on the cathedrals. And that's what we borrow from in our churches of today. Not all, but it definitely has had a significant influence. Okay? Especially when you get into, well, I don't want to get ahead of myself. So the grotesque. Now, folks, you can do a better job pronouncing these things. I'm just a construction worker, okay, folks? So grotesque. People believe that the doorways and windows of buildings were particularly vulnerable to the entry or passage of evil. On churches and castles, gargoyles or other grotesque faces and figures such as Sheela and hunky punks were carved to frighten away witches and other malign influences. Figures may also have been carved at fireplaces or chimneys. In some cases, simply geometric or letter carvings were used for these. When a wooden post was used to support a chimney opening, this was often an easier material for amateur carvings. To discourage witchcraft, rowan wood may have been chosen for the post or mantle. And that's taken from Domestic Interiors, the British Tradition, between 1500 and 1850, Yale University Press, page 24. ISBN number 0-300-8480845-5. Now, continuing to quote, similarly, the grotesque face is carved into pumpkin lanterns, and their earlier counterparts made turnips, swedes, or beets at Halloween are meant to avert evil. This season was Samhain, the Celtic New Year. As a time between times, it was believed to be a period when souls of the dead and other dangerous spirits walked the earth. Many European peoples had such associations with the period following the harvest in the fall. End quote. That's taken from apotropaic magic under Wikipedia. Now, what we're seeing here under, continuing to quote, we're looking into, in ancient Greece, the phalli. Now, what is the phalli? Now, the phalli is a phallus is a penis, especially when erect, or an object that resembles a penis or a mimetic imitative image of an erect penis. And you ask me, why are you focusing on this? Because this is what's on your church building, most likely, okay? Now, in ancient Greece, the phalli were believed to have apotropaic qualities. Often stone reliefs would be placed above doorways, and three-dimensional versions were erected across the Greek world. Most notable of these were the urban monuments found on the island of Delos. Now, Delos was one of the most important mythological, historical, and archaeological sites in Greece. Delos had a position as a holy sanctuary for a millennium. That's a long time. That's 1,000 years, folks. Before Olympian Greek mythology made its birthplace of Apollo and Artemis. Grotesque satyr-like. Now, satyr-like is a sylvan, one that frequents groves or woods. Deity of Greek mythology, often represented with the tail and ears of a horse, and found in the Dionysian or Dionysus, the god of wine or revelry, a wild party or celebration. So we see that the grotesque satyr-like bearded faces, sometimes with a pointed cap of the workmen. Now, the pointed cap. What's the pointed cap? Well, that's the pileus, the pilas, also known as the pileus or the pilium in Latin, with a brimless felt cap worn in ancient Greece and surrounded regions, later also introduced in ancient Rome, evolving into the Phrygian cap. Yes, the Phrygian cap. Remember the Smurfs? They had the Phrygian cap. And that's when you're looking at the French Revolution, they had the Phrygian cap. And you're looking at some of the symbols or the marks or the insignias, even within the United States government or state governments, you're going to find the Phrygian cap. Okay. Now, these were carved over the doors of ovens and kilns to protect the work from fire and mishap. Now, we see that this drunken revelry, well, that's an orgy, folks. Did you know an orgy? Everyone knows what an orgy is, right? Well, an orgy is relating to religion, all right? That's Bacchus and drunken revelry, known in December 25th. That's where you get that from. Now, orgy, noun, number one, is taken from Webster's 7th New Collegiate Dictionary, 1967. Orgy, page 959, number one, secret ceremonial rites held in honor of ancient Greek or Roman deity and usually characterized by ecstatic singing and dancing. Number two, drunken revelry. And number three, an excessive indulgence in an activity. Okay. Now we see that La Fontaine plate illustrated by Charles Eisen, 1762. There is a woman, a picture of a woman, and she is holding up her dress like this, and there's this demon satyr where you can see a normal man, and then the last part is like that satyr, like a, I don't know, a goat or whatever, and the face has wings on, and it's looking at the woman's vulva, and it's like, like this, like it's warding off the magic. You know that? It's warding off the evil spirits. I don't make this stuff up, folks. That's apotropaic magic. That's the reason why you have the Sheela and the gigs with these female figures when they're separating the vulva, they're above the windows, this sexual nudity of the woman is warding off evil. That's what they believe. Very superstitious. Where does that come from? Well, it comes from antiquity, the first part of Western European history. So we see that a similar use of the phallic representations to ward off the evil eye remains popular in modern Bhutan, which is a landlocked country in South Asia at the eastern end of the Himalayas, is bordered to the north by China and to the south, east and west by India. It is associated with a 500-year Buddhist tradition of the Drukpa Kunli, which is a great master of the Mahamudra in the Buddhist tradition. It is paralleled by other South Asian uses of the lingam. That's another name, folks. Lingam. Now remember I mentioned the yoni. The yoni was referring to the woman, or the yoni worship, the Shakti. Then you have the lingam. Look this up in your collegiate dictionary. Lingam. Now we're looking at the yin and the yang. Remember, everything's a masculine and female force. It's all about sexual unity between the man and the woman. Now when you're dealing with the 666 symbol that most Christians like to put in front of Jesus Christ, the star of, not David, the star of Kiyun, or the star of Rephaim. Well, it's the V representing the vulva, and then you have the chevron coming down, forming the male between, or the pyramid. That's the male aspect. And then you put the lines across, or in Freemasonry, you got the same concept. Well, there's a lot of words here, folks. That's the yoni and the lingam coming together. Now, what is a lingam? Now, understand, you're like, why are you reading the Hindu and the Asian? Well, understand, from Babylon, the Babylonian religion spread to the east. We're in India, and went into the Orient. Very ancient, folks. Where do you think Greco-Romanism comes from? Is borrowing from the Babylonian system. It's borrowing from Mother Goddess worship, and it's incorporated into Western Christianity. That's why I call it Roman Christianity. It's not biblical Christianity, folks. All right, so lingam. What is a lingam? It is a stylized phallic symbol of the masculine cosmic principle and of the Hindu god Shiva. Yes, Shiva, also known as Siva, S-I-V-A. Look this up in your collegiate dictionary. A symbol conjoining the lingam and the yoni. Symbol. All right, and that's under apotropaic magic. Now, is it, I want to elevate science above the Word of God. I bet you do. And outside CERN, what do you have? You have what? You have Shiva out there, the destroyer of the world. So don't tell me that they're not into paganism. Don't tell me they're not into Satanism. Don't tell me they're not into this occult witchcraft system going on. Oh no, it's all about just science. What a joke. And then you have the Apollo mission, NASA. NASA, never a straight answer. I digress. Let me get back into the game. So let's review it, folks. Sheela gigs are figurative carvings of naked women displaying an exaggerated vulva. Yes, that's a genitalia, the external aspect of the woman's female reproductive organ. They are architectural grotesques found on churches and castles, especially in England and Ireland during the Middle Ages, sometimes together with male figures. Notice the coitus between the male and female on the left. Well, you have the picture. That's why we have the Bible study. These figurative carvings of naked women with exaggerated vulvas are found in Romanesque Christian churches scattered throughout Europe. These female figures are found in Ireland, Great Britain, France, Spain, Switzerland, Norway, Belgium, and in the Czech Republic. Their meaning is clearly identifiable as coming from pagan and not Christian origin. Folks, I hope that's clear, okay? And ancient Babylon was destroyed, but the mystery religion was passed to ancient India, spreading throughout the Orient toward the east. The Sheela grotesque architectural style is an ancient concept of the yoni worship. The yoni, noun, Sanskrit, vulva, the female symbol under which Shakti is worshipped. Compare lingam. Webster's 7th New Collegiate Dictionary, 1967, yoni, page 1037. The lingam, linga, noun, Sanskrit, linga, nominative, lingam, literally characteristic. Number one, a stylized phallic symbol, phallus, representing the male penis, of the masculine cosmic principle of the Hindu god Shiva. S-I-V-A. S-I-V-A is the same thing as Shiva. S-H-I-V-A. Number two, a symbol conjoining the lingam and the yoni. The phallic and the vulva coming together. The yoni, Sanskrit yoni, literally vagina or womb, is the symbol of the goddess Shakti or Devi, the Hindu divine mother. Within Shaivism, the sect dedicated to the god Shiva, the yoni symbolizes his consort. The male counterpart of the yoni is the lingam. The yoni represents the external process of creation and regeneration. So apparently the creation of the universe was sex. Does that surprise you? Because Satan's all about sex. Satan's a pervert, okay? So, run out of time, folks. So since the late 19th century, some have interpreted the yoni and the lingam as iconic, or usually a pictorial representation, image, an object of uncritical devotion, idol, representation of the vulva and a phallus, respectively. The yoni in Hinduism, also under Encyclopedia Britannica. Britannica.com, retrieved 07-728-2014. Okay. A stone yoni found in the Cat Tien Sanctuary, Lam Dong in Vietnam. Okay. This is all about sex, folks. This is all paganism. It's incorporated into the building layout or the temple. That's why I'm going to focus on the body is the temple, not a temple made with hands. Because temple made with hands has sexual connotation. God bless you. We'll pick it up next time. Thank you. Take care.